So today I finally got all my parts in so I can start working on my printer again. I just saw in one of my past videos I had a problem with the extruder got jammed up. So I got cleaned out. Well, it turned out that when I was drilling that out, at the very beginning there was some really sticky stuff that I thought was the filament that was burnt up. Turned out that wasn't filament after all, it was actually the Teflon tube that was burnt up. So after that I started having some major issues, especially after drilling it out, and probably shouldn't have done that, but at the same time I was able to get some stuff done that I needed to get done. So now I ended up ordering some parts. I did order on the Geeetech extruder. It has a 38mm throat that comes down to the heat block. I do have it on order, but it has not come in yet. But a couple days later, I ordered a couple of these 50mm. And what I'm thinking about on the 50mm is actually going to give me some better clearance down here on my Ziva wall brackets, because they're right down, you know, just a little above, maybe about, I'm guessing maybe about 3mm above the couplers. So the 50mm is actually going to give me a little bit more room to work on it. So I'm going to go ahead and install that. Now I was playing around with an idea, and I'm going to leave this up to the comments below. I really thought about, I went and picked up these stainless steel washers and making like a homemade heat sink on here. I don't know if it would work or not, so I'll leave it up to you guys down in the comments. Please let me know if you think it would be a good idea, if you don't think it would be a good idea, and why. I'd appreciate it. I'd really like some feedback on it. But for today, I'm just going to install the stock one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise this the level up a little bit of the extruder. Let's see, prepare and move axis 1mm, move Z, and we'll raise it up to maybe about 60. Anthony's just get it away from the bed. I'm going to zoom in on this. Look at that wobble in that. I'm so glad I did those brackets. That saved so much trouble. Okay, there we go. I got a new tripod. I didn't want to keep using my wife's really nice heavy duty one, so I went out and got a lower price one at Fry's Electronics a while back, and I kind of regret I did. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to prepare. I don't know exactly what all I need to do, so I am going to preheat for PLA. I'm going to go ahead and take off the nozzle. I don't know if I need to or not, but I'm going to go ahead and take it off. Let it heat on up to, well, let's see, PLA is only going up to 195. Let's preheat for ABS. I'll take up to 230. Okay, we'll go ahead and pause the camera until it heats up, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so we just reached 230 degrees. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my, it's a 7mm socket, and we're going to go ahead and remove that nozzle. Yeah, the problem I'm having right now, since I drilled that out, is the filament just runs out of it. There we go. So now I'm going to go ahead and power off the unit. I'm going to move this over here. Now I got to decide how I want to take this apart, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and remove this fan here. Let's go ahead and just disassemble the whole thing. Should have thought last night and watched Joe Telling did a on 3D Printing Nerd. He did a swap out to a new setup on one of his. I believe it was the Wong Hao? I believe it was a Wong Hao. Yeah, it's pretty close to the same extruder on it. Okay, so do that. Let's go ahead and pull this harness off here. Get above the camera here. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and trim this line there. Go ahead and pull this. Okay, I could just pull it all out, I guess. Just want to get that out of the way. Yeah, I could just pull it out. Oh well. Okay, so we have that moved down. Now what I'm noticing that's different here, and I'm going to have to pay attention whenever I actually take this completely apart, on the new throat, I could pull out the bag here. It's got this opening over here that's tapered, so I'm guessing that's the part that faces upward, and it's got the Teflon all the way to the end. So I got to find out which way is going to be which. On this one, I'm noticing that it's completely opened up at the very top. So either the Teflon has slid down in the tube, or they just had a different way of doing it on that one. That's kind of odd, I guess. Okay, so now what I want to do is let's go ahead and take off a different size Allen wrench. There we go. I think that's the right one. Oop. Sorry if I bumped the camera. Okay. Get this pulled off. There we go. Now what I wanted to do, yeah, it looks like the Teflon's all the way to the end on that one. I know I need to screw it off of that, but what I'd rather do is take, let's just go ahead and unplug this up here too. There we go. Now that I got this separated, what I want to do is just go ahead, and it's cooling down a little bit. I want to loosen up that nut right there and just unscrew this portion from the throat. I'd rather not have to take and unwire all this, and I'd have to take it all the way back from the circuit board, and I'd rather not do that if I can get out of it. So let me pause the camera for just a moment. Let me find a wrench that'll fit that. I'll be right back. Okay, and I'm back. So I'm going to take a 10mm wrench. I'm going to loosen up this nut right there. As you can see, it's already loose now. And I got to remember to have that flush whenever I screw this back together. It's now just kind of lukewarm, so that's good. I'm being lazy and not taking the fan off of it, so I hope that doesn't come back to bite me later. Yeah, this is one thing about owning a printer from China that I should have thought about was the fact that you want to be sure to order parts and just have them on hand, because you're going to need them eventually. Yeah, loosened up. Dropped it real quick. I didn't know how hot the sides were going to be on it, so I didn't want to get super burned or nothing. There we go. There we go. So the heat block is all taken apart. I should have ordered a new insulator, new insulation for it, but I'll do that in the next go around. Okay, so here is my old tube. So what I'm going to want to do, I'm going to need these nuts, and if I actually did pick up some M6 nuts already, just in case I did need them. This one here is going to be a bear to get off. So I got a little trick. Let's see if I can get that off of there. Let me go grab my other nuts real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, so I got my other nuts. So what I'm wanting to do is I'm just going to kind of measure here, and the camera's not going to focus right. It's about 5 millimeters from the base of that nut to the end of the tube. So what I'm going to do, I've just decided I'm just going to go ahead and put the new nuts on it and be done with it. At Home Depot they carry these M6-10X nuts. They're a little bit thicker as far as width goes, but that's not going to make a difference, I don't think. Okay, so I'm going to take, screw it on there. I'm going to give myself 5 millimeters right there. Then I'm going to take and screw this in. See, it just screwed a little past, which is alright, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten. Make sure I got room in there for the nozzle, which I do. Now what I've got to remember is not to auto home this when I reinstall everything. I've got to make absolutely sure I don't auto home, because if I do, it's going to drive everything right down. Well, the good thing is it does auto home off the bed, so it wouldn't be disastrous, but I'd rather not take that chance. Why didn't I? Yeah, that's right. I didn't do that first. I was wondering why I didn't screw that in first and then it hit me, because I would then have to take this heat block, the wiring loose on it. In the future I'll take the fan off. Actually, there's a friend of mine on Thingiverse. He came up with a model for a fan shroud, which I am really thinking about printing out, especially with having this down a little bit lower. I'm really considering it. And that's, if I do, of course I'll talk to him, make sure it's alright to do a video on it. But he came up with a pretty cool design, I think. That one. it's flush. Let's take one look at the bottom of this. So that's just going to be just the tube running down, because apparently some of these I've noticed where they have special setups where they have to have like the Teflon tube with a split in it and all that. But apparently Geeetech, when they came up with this design, they did a pretty good job on already having it molded into this plastic piece. And so it just comes out to the flat part there, which butts up right against the flat part on this, which will allow the filament to go right down. Cool. Okay, so we've reinstalled the 50mm throat. By the way, we'll put the link to it up on eBay in the video description. Guy's really fast. I mean, I ordered this, and then the next day I ordered some Teflon tubing from New York. The Teflon tubing from New York came in the day before this did. So even though this came from China, he's super fast. I'm definitely going to be ordering more parts from him. Or whoever it is. I don't know if it's a him or her. Or I just say him. Okay. I'm getting ready to go on vacation here in about 2 weeks. So I'm hoping to get some videos stacked up so that you guys aren't left without anything coming out from me for 2 weeks. It's just this whole thing just kind of hit me by surprise. I didn't expect all that to happen. So should be back up and running here pretty quick. Okay, so just place the extruder onto there. Take our thing and put it there. Bring the fan over here with the wires facing upward. It is a very simple design to take apart, that's for sure. This is one of the cool things about getting a kit, is you kind of learn things as you go, and it's not a huge undertaking to take things apart and work on them. You get used to it after a while. Okay, so I want to take that fan, connect it back onto here. There we go. Take our extruder, plug it back in. Okay, so all the wires are back in place. Everything looks good down here. I think that's the way I had it before. It looks about right. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead. I'm just going to check for everything for tightness, make sure everything's snug, which it is. Go ahead and repower on the... And no, I still haven't changed that fan out. I'll see if maybe I can get up toward Fry's this tonight. And I think what I'm going to go ahead and do, I'll go ahead and pop in a brand new tip. I did order extra tips a while back. Okay, let's go ahead and prepare. Preheat ABS. Go ahead and get that warmed back up. Somehow I don't have that turned right, do I? I have the heat block turned around different. But you know what? I don't think it's going to be an issue. I think it's going to be fine like it is. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Just thinking. There we go. Sorry about that. Just thinking back on it. I seem to remember that being turned the other direction. But I don't think it's going to be an issue. I think it's going to be fine like that. There we go. It wasn't letting me zoom in or zoom out there for a moment. Okay, so we're up to 125. I'm going to go ahead and pause the camera. As soon as it gets up to 230, I'll turn it back on. Okay, we just hit 230. So I'm going to take my new nozzle, screw it up into here. So far everything feels right. Just snug it up. Perfect. So now I'm going to take my filament. Where's my little piece of Teflon? I don't understand that. I'd rather have it there because it helps guide it, but at the same time it doesn't go far enough down to really make a difference on it. There we go. Filament's coming out good. Now, what bugs me though is it just keeps on oozing out, and that's even with a brand new throat. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and get this thing set back up. Let's see, how do I want to do this? I do need to auto home it. It is going to be off the bed though, so that's the good thing. So let's go ahead and prepare, auto home. Now I'm going to go up here to disable steppers and just hover on it and just see where we end up at. I know one thing I can do is I can actually take this over here and start screwing it down because I know I'm going to have to. Yeah, definitely we're going to give us more clearance. That's just a matter of if I'm going to be able to adjust this right. I may end up having to go back to the 38mm. See, prepare. We're going to move axis, move 1mm, move Z. Yeah, I'm going to have to go up 12mm. That screw is not going to reach it. The print bed, I could go down with it a little bit, but it's not going to give me that much in the way of clearance, I don't think. Oh. I don't want to do it without the screw or the spring, because the spring is what keeps tension and keeps it from moving around on me. I can move the print bed down. But see, the springs are going to compress. Let's go ahead and prepare disables. Auto homed again. I think if there was a longer screw screw that came with, I believe that's going to be the, excuse me, I'll reach over there. Yeah, it's number 26 was the screw that I used on it. I think that's the longest one that came with it. Okay, so let's go ahead, raise this back up. Move Z, move it up 16 millimeters. And then disable steppers. Go ahead and screw this down to where it'll be close to the same level as the other side. And one thing about by having the bed more compressed, that should help with the print quality too. Okay, let's see if I can get a little bit more out of this spring. I think that's going to be about it. So I'm going to auto home. Okay, let's see how bad life is going to suck now. I'm going to disable the stepper. Yeah, it's not going to do it. So, the only thing I can safely do at this point, I do have extra springs. I don't want to remove springs from the print bed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the spring that's over here on this adjustment screw here to the side. I'm going to take it, I'm going to cut the spring in half. And that'll give me half the height of the spring, it'll give me half the reduce the tension on it, so I can actually get it up a little bit better. So I'm going to go, I'll go about halfway on it. One stayed, the other one went. Yeah, that'll give me more room. So you can see what I'm doing. I move it over there. I thought I had it in frame, but I guess it didn't. Okay, I'm going to go back to prepare, move axis, move 1 millimeter, move Z. These are about 7 millimeters or so. I'm just going to start get that compressed a little bit right there. Now we're going to go back to auto home. Now let's see where we're at. Oh, auto homed again. Move this back over here. Oh my god. Just bump it the third time. There. Disable steppers. That's more promising. Okay. Get that off of there. So now what I need is my piece of paper. Okay. Let's go ahead and move the stepper motor over here to that point. It's really loose right now. I got filament everywhere. Start loosening this print bed up. Let the springs bring it back up. Slight drag there. Bring it to this side. Start bringing it up. Slight drag there. Bring the print bed out. Start bringing this one up. Slight drag there. Bring it over to there. Slight drag there. Go back to the front. Tighten that one back down a hair. That's about right. Bring that one back up a little bit. That feels pretty good. That's too loose. There we go. Take it back over this way. It's a little bit too tight. Take it down just a hair. Too tight. Too loose, but not much by much. You can tell each time I go around I'd have to turn it a little bit less. It's getting there pretty close. It's not even quarter turns now, it's just very little bit. I think that's going to be it. Okay, so we're going to prepare, auto home again. Okay. Go back up here to the main menu, info screen. Now I remember why the filament's come out like it was, because I had to heat it up to 230 degrees. Okay, so go back to prepare, disable steppers. Just want to make sure it didn't bump. It didn't bump. In fact, I can just pull it back over here and try the paper one more time. It's actually a little bit tight. Get this around here. Double check it one last time. That's the thing about it. Every time you auto level it, you may have to do another adjustment. There we go. That feels good. Auto home it again. Okay, so that worked. Now, as you can see over here, let me just get this off of here. Okay, there we go. I now have more room between the coupler. Now, as far as the fan goes, angle of the fan is still going to be alright, I think, for cooling PLA, but it is a little bit off. So I am going to look into printing that other fan bracket. It's a really cool design. You're going to love this thing when you see it. And I think it's going to work out really good for it. Cool. That's going to be it for today. I want to thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like my channel, please subscribe. I sure appreciate it. Have a great day. Bye.